Hello everybody, this is the review for Honors English 1. This will be the Fall 2024 semester exam. So I took a look at the notes and the exam itself. Just so you know, we will have 35 questions, which will have 2 written responses, and it will cover 5 selections. This review covers 17 questions. I have 16 listed. Number 17 will be a freebie. I guess I must have spaced when I was printing these out. I omitted number 17, so I'm sorry for that. And of those 16 listed, you will have 1 written response that I will readily and willingly give you. All I ask is that you copy it to perfection. Love, Mrs. A. So guys, as I am going through this review, I will 1, read the selections out to you. There are 3 selections I'm covering with those 17 questions. And then as I'm going through the answers, through the questions themselves, and giving you the answers, I will actually be modeling my thought process throughout the entire scenario. Let's go ahead and start. So you will be given this in class. I want you to do, first and foremost, write your name. And the reason why I want you to do this is because you only need this on Tuesday. You have the whole rest of the week to take this 35 question test, but you only need this copy for the very first day, which is Tuesday. When you leave class on Tuesday, you will give me your copy because I do not want to have any students cheating. I know I'm already giving you the answers here, but I'm also expecting you to have some accountability for yourself. So put your name on that document and you will be expecting to hand it to me on Tuesday at the end of class. The first selection we're going to cover, you'll see that they are 2 selections right next to each other, but for right now I'm just going to focus on the poem by Emma Lazarus. It is entitled The New Colossus. And you will see this little symbol here. It's a little 1. They give the definition. The Colossus of Rhodes was a statue depicting Helios, the Greek sun god. It was built to celebrate the defeat of a rival ruler who attempted to overtake the island of Rhodes. It was one of 7 wonders of the ancient world and was destroyed during an earthquake in 226 BCE. So we know this has to do with some type of battle and some type of overtake. The title of the poem is The New Colossus. And I'm going to go ahead and start reading it. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she, with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Okay. So I know it wasn't exactly said, but this poem is about the Statue of Liberty. A few ways we know. Let's see. Lifting my lamp, that's the phrase that gave it away for me. A mighty woman with a torch. And you guys will be able to have pens, pencils, and highlighters with you. That way you can make some of the same notes that I'm making here. So we know that the Statue of Liberty is in New York. We know that it stands for this big thing. It also welcomes immigrants. And if we know anything about America, it's the land of the free, the home of the brave, where everybody is entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So we know that this isn't about a battle per se. We know this is about her welcoming everybody, whether it is the people who are tired, poor, people yearning to breathe free. So people who don't want to be fearing for their lives. Basically, it's like it's supposed to be like the idea of almost like heaven when you think about it. So now that we've read this poem, we're going to go ahead and look at the first 6 questions, I believe. Yes, okay. So number 1, which statement is a theme of the poem? So we have all are welcome to enter. Women have always been more welcoming than men. Women are the best judge of character, and civilization has changed for the better. So we're going to go ahead and automatically eliminate B and C. This was not just about women, even though women rule the world. This was about everybody being welcome to enter. So the answer to number 1 is going to be A. On to number 2. It says, read line 1 of the poem. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame. What is the author attempting to emphasize through this simile? And remember, a simile is comparison using the words like or as. And we know right here, not like the brazen giant of Greek fame. So our answer choices, 1 or A, the Statue of Liberty is still standing, whereas the Colossus of Rhodes no longer exists. Well, I know that that's true. B is the Statue of Liberty was created to look different from the statues created by ancient Greek artists. Okay, it could be true, could be not. I'd have to ask Mr. A, but he's already in bed and I really don't care to know the answer, if you know what I mean. Question C, answer C. The Statue of Liberty is located next to the sea, but the Colossus of Rhodes is located next to mountains. Okay. Again, another one I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. I don't need that one at all. And D, the Statue of Liberty was created to represent freedom, but the Colossus of Rhodes was created to recognize a military victory. So, I know that it was talking about brazen giant of Greek fame. We know that that was the Colossus of Rhodes. So any answer choice that does not mention the Colossus of Rhodes, we can go ahead and eliminate. So then we are stuck with A and D, getting ready to choose between the two. And we know that the Statue of Liberty was meant to welcome everybody. And I think that the best way that that's answered is this phrase here, where it says represent freedom. So correct answer to number 2 is D. And number 3, what does the phrase huddled masses in line 11 of the poem suggest? Let me go ahead and take a look at line 11 one more time. All right, line 11. Your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. So we know that that's large groups of people and they want to be free. All right, A is large numbers of people wanting to immigrate to the U.S. That's kind of exactly what I just said. B is immigrants tend to separate from each other once they come to the United States. Ooh, I really cannot believe that one. Have you guys stepped into a nail salon before? They're all the same ethnicity, so I'm going to scratch that one out. Oh no, that one's not right at all. C, people outside of the United States are united while the United States stands alone. Oh heck no, we know that one's not right. D, people in the United States are more spread out because they value individualism. Okay, absolutely nothing in the poem talks about individualism, so let's get rid of that one. We don't need that one at all. We already know through process of elimination. Correct answer to number 3 is A. Okay, number 4. In the poem, which phrase best explains what the author means by the golden door in line 14? Let's go ahead and look back at line 14. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Sorry, let me read that again. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. So we know this is in New York. And although New York is popularized in the media for being this great, wonderful city, and I'm not going to say it's not because it is. New York is beautiful. It's also teeming with a bunch of people. It's been about 10 years since I've been. And even though I went during spring break to celebrate my 20th birthday, it stunk. Oh my goodness, we were out walking in the middle of the night right outside of Chelsea. And that's one of the neighborhoods there. And a rat ran in between my legs. It was crazy. And I just kept thinking, how dirty. I don't ever want to come here again. And that's kind of a lie because I think I would go back. But for right now, I'm saying I probably wouldn't want to go back. So, before I digress any further, in the poem, which phrase best explains what the author means by the golden door in line 14? A literal door the color of gold. Oh no. See, the thing about poetry, it is never meant to be taken literally. Almost everything about poetry is typically metaphorical. One thing stands for another. We use less words to make more meaning. If you have a literal mind, you will automatically hate poetry. But if you have a literal mind, you know that there is no such thing as a literal door the color of gold in New York. At least not where they're talking about at the Statue of Liberty. We're going to scratch that out. A passage to a place where people are wealthy. Okay, kind of true, but kind of not. People are not all wealthy in New York. So, I'm going to go ahead and take that one out. A barrier between life and death. Okay, so this one I can kind of see where we are at. I mean, the whole thing about people yearning to breathe free, people, wanting to do all of that. But I'm still not completely sold on it, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm thinking of this answer for choice D, where it says, an entry to a place of great worth. And so when I'm thinking about that, you're going to think it's a little rudimentary, a little silly. But I want you to think of the movie Encanto. And if you know anything about that movie, you know that they have golden doors. Whenever the kids in that family reach a certain age, they get to walk up the stairs in the Encanto, in the casita, and then they get to go to their door. And that's supposed to be their bedroom, but it's also supposed to show what their great gift is. And if you remember anything about the movie, Mirabel, who was the main character, did not get a door. When she reached a certain age and she walked up the steps, she put her hand on the door, and suddenly it all went away. Do you think she had any sense of self-worth at that point? Let me tell you right now, she didn't. So let's take the idea behind Encanto, because it mentions a golden door as well, and think about this. The golden door, is it a barrier between life and death? There's no guarantee that these people who are living in other countries will automatically die. Their chances of survival and living a wealthy life aren't high, but it's not a guaranteed death sentence. So that's why I'm going to take out the answer C, and I am left with the answer D. D is correct for number 4. Okay, moving on to number 5. The use of quotation marks in lines 9 through 14 of the poem indicates what? And we're going to go ahead and take a look, 9 through 14. And it says, "Keep ancient lands your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." Okay, so I know it was a female talking, and ideally it was supposed to be the Statue of Liberty. So I'm not going to go through the whole process because we already know the poem was about the Statue of Liberty, and those lines indicate that they were words spoken by the Statue of Liberty. The answer for number 5 is B. Alright, going to move on to number 6. What is the author's purpose for writing the essay? Alright, sorry about that, guys. There was a little break in communication there. I was still trying to get used to my setup here at home. But I'm going to go ahead and continue on. We just finished numbers 1 through 5, which cover the new Colossus, and now we are going to go with the essay, which is entitled From Lithuania to the Chicago Stockyards, an autobiography. And that is an essay by Antanas Katsakis. I hope I said that right. I tried. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read it for you guys. I was called a cattle butcher now, and I joined the Cattle Butchers Union. This union is honest, and it has done me a great deal of good. It has raised my wages. The man who worked in my job before the union came was getting through the year an average of $9 a week. I am getting $11. In my first job, I got $5 a week. The man who works there now gets $5.75. It has given me more time to learn to read and speak and enjoy life like an American. I never work now from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then be idle the next day. I work now from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and there are not so many idle days. The work is evened up. With more time and more money, I live much better and I am very happy. So is Alexandria. She came a year ago and has learned to speak English already. Some of the women go to the big store the day they get here, when they have not enough sense to pick out the clothes that look right. But Alexandria waited 3 weeks till she knew, and so now she looks the finest of any woman in the district. We have 4 nice rooms, which she keeps very clean, and she has flowers growing in boxes in the 2 front windows. We do not go much to church, because the church seems to be too slow. But we belong to a Lithuanian society that gives 2 picnics in summer and 2 big balls in winter, where we have a fine time. I go 1 night a week to the Lithuanian Concertina Club. On Sundays, we go on the trolley out into the country. But we like to stay at home more now because we have a baby. When he grows up, I will not send him to the Lithuanian Catholic school. They have only 2 bad rooms and 2 priests who teach only in Lithuanian from prayer books. I will send him to the American school, which is very big and good. The teachers there are Americans, and they belong to the Teachers Labor Union, which has 3,000 teachers and belongs to our Chicago Federation of Labor. I am sure that such teachers will give him a good chance. Our union sent a committee to Springfield last year, and they passed a law which prevents boys and girls below 16 from working in the stockyards. We are trying to make the employers pay on Sunday night in cash. Now they pay in checks, and the men have to get money the same night to buy things for Sunday. And the saloons cash checks by thousands. You have to take 1 drink to have the check cashed. It is hard to take 1 drink. The union is doing another good thing. It is combining all the nationalities. The night I joined the Cattle Butchers Union, I was led into the room by a Negro member. With me were Bohemians, Germans, and Poles, and Mike Donnelly, the president, is an Irishman. He spoke to us in English, and then 3 interpreters told us what he said. We swore to be loyal to our union above everything else except the country, the city, and the state, to be faithful to each other, to protect the women workers, to do our best to understand the history of the labor movement, and to do all we could to help it on. Since then, I have gone there every 2 weeks, and I help the movement by being an interpreter for the other Lithuanians who come in. That is why I have learned to speak and write good English. The others do not need me long. They soon learn English too, and when they have done that, they are quickly becoming Americans. But the best thing the union does is to make me feel more independent. I do not have to pay to get a job, and I cannot be discharged unless I am no good. For almost the whole 30,000 men and women are organized now in one of our unions, and they all are directed by our Central Council. No man knows what it means to be sure of his job unless he has been fired like I was, once without any reason being given. So this is why I joined the labor union. There are many better stories than mine, for my story is very common. There are thousands of immigrants like me. Over 300,000 immigrants have been organized in the last 3 years by the American Federation of Labor. The immigrants are glad to be organized if the leaders are as honest as Mike Donnelly is. You must get money to live well, and to get money you must combine. I cannot bargain alone with the meat trust. I tried it, and it does not work. My young brother came over 3 weeks ago to escape being sent out to fight in Japan. I tried to have my father come too, but he was too old. I wish that ugly little shoemaker would come. He would make a good walking delegate. Okay, so we are going to look at question number 6. That's where I got a little tripped up on with my last recording. Hopefully I get that fixed whenever I get everything edited together. So, number 6. What is the author's purpose for writing the essay? A is to persuade the reader to move to the United States. No, there was nowhere in that essay that said this is specifically for proposed immigrants, so I'm going to scratch that off. B, to entertain the reader with anecdotes about his life in the United States. I mean, he gave a general idea, but he wasn't really giving anecdotes. Anecdotes are little stories. He was giving, not an anecdote, that's for sure. I scratched that one out, guys. It's not even a good answer choice. Option C, to inform the reader of the positive impact that labor unions have had on his life and others' lives. Okay, that one sounds pretty good because he did mention that there was nothing special about him. And D, to educate the reader about the horrible treatment and poor working conditions of workers in the meat industry. No. Okay, so correct answer for number 6 is going to be C. The main focus of this essay was about the labor unions. So that is why C is the correct answer. Moving on to number 7. In the essay, what is the significance of the author mentioning his wife Alexandria in paragraph 4 after discussing his increased wages and free time in paragraphs 1 through 3? I know we are talking about this gentleman, but I do not want to butcher his name anymore, so let's just call him the author. Alright, answer choice A. It suggests that his wife and family come second to his job. No, there is nothing that gave that away. Let's cross that out. It explains why his wife speaks English and dresses well. Well, that's kind of what he covered, okay. C, it describes how women who work in the home did not need labor unions. Kind of not super important. I'm going to get rid of that one. It shows that his wife and family are also positively impacted by his higher wages. Okay, that's like the end-all be-all. Number 7, the correct answer is D. Yes, we're so happy that his wife speaks English and dresses well, but we want to know why. The labor union was good for him because it was able to secure his job, it was able to give him a better life, and in turn his wife and family were also positively impacted by having more money. Ain't that the truth? Alright, number 8. Read the following sentence from paragraph 8 of the essay. Since then, I have gone there every 2 weeks, and I help the movement by being an interpreter for the other Lithuanians who come in. One meaning of the verb move is to show great activity or energy. What is the meaning of the noun movement as it is used in this sentence? All right, the phrase again. Since then, I have gone there every 2 weeks, and I help the movement by being an interpreter for the other Lithuanians who come in. Answer choice A is a change of physical location or position. No, let's scratch that one out. B is the activity of people in a particular place. Kind of don't love it. C, a group of people working toward a shared goal. I like that one. Let me go ahead and put a little note next to that one. I like that one. And D, a change or development over a short period of time. Oh no, get out of here. Alright, so we have between B or C. We know this isn't just about a particular place. We know that they want everybody to do well. I mean, it's a labor union, so the answer to number 8 is going to be C. Alright. Number 9. Read the following sentence from paragraph 8 of the essay. They soon learn English too, and when they have done that, they are quickly becoming Americans. The denotative meaning of American is a person who is a citizen of the United States of America. What is one example of its connotative meaning in this sentence? Okay, so denotative meaning, that means a dictionary definition. And that's exactly what they gave you in the response. A connotative meaning is the kind of meaning that you get from casual conversation. So think about the way you guys talk when you're in my class. Whenever you're doing well, you say that you're cooking. And I know that you're not physically, literally cooking. Like you don't have a skillet, you're not frying an egg right in front of me. But you're using the connotative meaning by saying that you're doing well when you're cooking. And when you say that your classmate is cooked, we're not saying that we put that person in a skillet and cooked him on high heat. It just means that he sucks at whatever it is that he's doing. So a connotative meaning means the meaning of a word in casual conversation. So remember, denotative is dictionary and connotative is casual conversation. So it says, what is one example of its connotative meaning in this sentence? American, someone who speaks English fluently. Yeah. B, someone who belongs to a labor union. Yeah. C, someone who has moved to America and denounced his or her country of origin. Okay, it started off really, really well with C, but then it ended up sucking, and I'll tell you why. Just because somebody leaves where they initially were doesn't mean that they hate where they came from. It just means that they want better for their lives, and that is okay. So let's get rid of C, because it ended up really ugly. I don't like that. Answer choice D, someone who works hard every day and takes pride in living in the United States. So, they soon learn English too, and when they have done that, they are quickly becoming Americans. The correct answer for number 9 is going to be D. It has nothing to do with just speaking English fluently. It means that they're able to work hard and provide a better life for themselves and their families. Going on to question number 10. This question has 2 parts. First answer part A, then answer part B. Okay, so with these kinds of questions on the EOC, if you get part A right, but part B wrong, then you will get half credit. On the EOC, if you get part A wrong and part B correct, then it is still all wrong. So, it's at the beginning. You either win or you lose. Part A, if you get it right, but part B is wrong, then it is part wrong, half wrong. But on the EOC, if you answer part A incorrectly, they don't even care about part B. It will just be completely wrong. So, part A. What is the author's tone in paragraph 10 of the essay? Okay, let's take a look back at paragraph 10. All right. 10 says, so this is why I joined the labor union. There are many better stories than mine, for my story is very common. There are thousands of immigrants like me. Over 300,000 immigrants have been organized in the last 3 years by the American Federation of Labor. Okay, so when I read this, I think of that phrase, out of many, one. So he's not saying that he's any more important than those around him, but he did want to share his story. So what is the author's tone in paragraph 10 of the essay? It's not admiring. He's not here thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so wonderful, I'm so amazing, I'm so not skibbity toilet, or whatever the heck it is that you guys say. So we'll get rid of A. We don't like A. Irony is something that you don't expect to happen, will happen. If people come to the U.S. from other countries, they expect to find wealth. They expect to make a better life for them and theirs. So irony is not what we're looking for. Provoking. Guys, something that's provoking is something that is eye-catching, something that really, truly is fascinating, catches your attention. This was a well-written essay, but if I'm being honest, it wasn't all that. I mean, if you were reading this for the EOC, you're not going to remember it after the fact. So let's go ahead and get rid of provoking. We know that the correct answer is humble, strictly from him saying there were thousands of people with stories just like his. So part A, correct answer is B. Part B, fill in the circles before 3 highlighted sentences that support the answer in part A. Notice it says 3. So do not just give 1 or 2 answers. You have to give 3. If it's asking for 3, then for the love of all that is holy, please give 3. I don't know why I have to keep talking about it like this, but man, it's an issue every single frickin' year. Okay, so this is why I joined the labor union. A, there are many better stories than mine, for my story is very common. Okay, and we need to focus on stuff that's humble. So I'm going to go ahead and select A. I already know A, he's talking about being humble. B, over 300,000 immigrants have been organized in the last 3 years by the American Federation of Labor. Kind of not really humble. I'm going to go ahead and go on. The immigrants are glad to be organized if the leaders are as honest as Mike Donnelly is. You must get money to live well, and to get money, you must combine. I'd say that that's humble. That's like saying you have to stop and go through all the steps so that the magic can happen. So we're going to go ahead and select C. I cannot bargain alone. You know what, guys? I don't like C. Get rid of C. For sure we have A. D says, I cannot bargain alone with the meat trust. Okay, D for sure is one. A and D for sure. I tried it and it does not work. Yep, that's humble. Okay, so guys, so we know for sure. Part B, fill in the circles before 3 highlighted sentences. Your correct answers are A, D, and E. I did double check my notes on that one, so sorry. I did not mean to lead you astray. Correct answers, A, D, and E. Number 11, which term best describes the structure of paragraphs 1 through 3 of the essay? Taking a look at that again. 1 through 3. I was called the cattle butcher now when I joined the cattle butchers union. This union is honest and it has done me a great deal of good. And then paragraph 2, he's talking about his wages, how it went up. And paragraph 3, he's saying how his life is now, how his work is more evened up, and he doesn't have idle days. Okay, so it's definitely not chronological, because if it was chronological, it'd be saying first it was this, and then it was this, step 3 was this, step 4 was this, and that's just not what we read. Okay, cause and effect, I like that one. That one's a nice answer choice. Problem and solution. No, because he didn't focus too much on the problem. It's like he just kind of briefly gave a general explanation of it, and then explain how it benefited him when things worked in his favor. So no, we're going to get rid of that one. And number 11, compare and contrast. Nah, guys, it's not doing it for me. So answer to number 11 is going to be B. How pretty. All right, number 12. Question has 2 parts. First, answer part A, then answer part B. Part A, what is the message of the story? The author is highly effective in providing for his family. Okay, remember one of the words that was used to describe this situation was humble, and highly effective and humble don't necessarily go hand in hand. So let's get rid of that one. B, labor unions have many benefits for workers in the United States. Okay, that could work because even though the essay was about this one particular writer's experience, he did go on to be humble and say that there were thousands of people just like him. So let's hold on to that one. C, inflation can best be seen through the wages of workers in the United States. I mean, yeah, that's true, but what did it have to do with the essay that we read? Absolutely nothing. Get the heck out of here. D, the average income of a working class immigrant is below that of a natural born citizen. Okay, yeah, 110% true, but again, what does this have to do with the essay? Absolutely freaking nothing. Okay, correct answer for part A on number 12 is B. All right, part B. Which two quotations support the answer in part B? Notice how it's asking for two. Since it's asking for two, you're going to give me two. Okay, A. I work now from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and there are not so many idle days. The work is evened up. Yes, for sure, 100%. Labor union benefits. Okay, B. When he grows up, I will not send him to the Lithuanian Catholic school. Nope, nothing to do with labor union. C, you have to take one drink to have the check cashed. It is hard to take one drink. Okay, he's talking about getting drunk here. Has nothing to do with the labor union. D, no man knows what it means to be sure of his job unless he has been fired, like I was once, without any reason being given. Okay, I'm going to leave that one alone because I'm really not sure. And E, you must get money to live well, and to get money, you must combine. Okay, labor unions have many benefits for workers in the United States. So guys, if you join a labor union, like teachers have labor unions, you're like joining a club. And here, to get money, you must combine. I'd say that was our best bet for finding the second quotation to support answer A. So for part B, we have A and we have E. Beautiful. And number 13, which tone applies to both the poem and the essay? Okay, so taking a look at this. Formal, I mean, it was well written, but it's not exactly a formal essay. No, I'm going to get rid of that. Indignant, no, he's not going against anything. He's not saying anything negative whatsoever. No. Positive. Yes, that's the answer choice I like the most so far. And detached. If somebody's detached, they show no interest, no emotion, no nothing whatsoever. So like imagine if you are texting your significant other or your biggest crush ever and you send them this whole paragraph telling them how much you love them, how much you care about them, and they simply respond with, okay. That would be an example of somebody who is detached. And that is not what we got from this poem and the essay. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. The answer to number 13 is C. Beautiful. All right, number 14. Ooh, I'm ready for this one. Okay, I have my notes on this one. Let me pull it up. Sorry, guys. I pre-wrote this one, and I wanted to make sure that I remembered everything that I had said because it was a good poem or a good paragraph that I wrote right off the bat. Okay. So it says, identify and explain one theme that is present throughout the poem and the essay. Support your response with relevant evidence from the text. Okay, you have to give me the ACE method. It asks for evidence, so you give me evidence. Let me read it again. Identify and explain, yada, yada, yada. Support your response with relevant evidence from the texts. And it says texts plural, so it wants stuff from the poem and the essay. But there's a way that we can combine this. Yeah, okay. So in the interest of saving time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull textual evidence from one of our selections, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to tie it all together. And I want to use the same words from the question itself. So my answer is going to be a theme, and I'm sorry I'm left-handed, so you're just going to have to wait till I'm done. A theme that is apparent in both the poem and the essay, And guys, especially since the genre was already written out for you, you have to call it a poem and an essay. That's how it was listed on the page. You have to follow through with that. Is the belief that life can be made better for immigrants despite the struggles that many face. And I'm going to go ahead and put my period there. I know that was a really long sentence. And because I just liked the poem more than I liked the essay, I'm going to use my textual evidence from the poem. But again, I need to tie it all in together. All right. Now, because I know the poet's name, I'm going to address it now. Emma Lazarus's, and because those words are right in front of your face, her name is right in front of your face, it better not be misspelled. Because her name ends in an S, I'm putting my apostrophe after the fact to show ownership. Poem provides excellent, and I'm going to use a $5 word here, imagery for the promise of a good life in America with the last line which reads, and since I'm going to start my quotations, I'm going to put a comma and then my quotations. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. And they used an exclamation mark, so I will use an exclamation mark. Now, what I'm going to do in parentheses, and it's going to act like a ghost, I am going to say exactly which line I got my quote from. You have to tell the reader where you got your stuff from. Otherwise, it will be seen as plagiarism. Okay. And my last sentence, although we are not expected to take this line literally, I'm going to put a comma, it helps the reader better understand America as the place of golden opportunity. And then I'm going to do one last line. So this goes on a little bit further than the ACE method. However, I do want to remind you, you all are honor students. So if you can give me stuff of this caliber, especially closer to April, we will be golden, just like America is as the place of golden opportunity. Okay, I'm going to finish this off by saying, this ideal is later exemplified in, and I need to look at that author's name. Okay. Kaz. Okay. Personal essay. Alright, that is how I tied it all in together. So, reading the answer all together. A theme that is apparent in both the poem and the essay is the belief that life can be made better for immigrants despite the struggles that many face. Emma Lazarus's poem provided excellent imagery for the promise of a good life in America, with the last line which reads, "I lift my lamp beside the golden door." Although we are not expected to take this line literally, it helps the reader better understand America as the place of golden opportunity. This ideal is later exemplified in the author's personal essay. And there we go. So notice that I gave my textual evidence, I went into my explanation, and I even made sure that the author's names were spelled correctly. I don't care if you have to double or triple check. It's actually a sign of great disrespect if you don't even bother trying to spell or pronounce somebody's name correctly. So I'm pretty sure after this I'm going to Google how to pronounce this name, but for right now I'm going to refer to him as the author, and I'm going to make sure it's at least spelled correctly. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have a speech to the Second Virginia Convention, which is by Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry delivered the speech in 1775 when American colonists were debating whether to wage war with Great Britain to gain their independence. Henry no longer saw any common ground with the British. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. No man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism, as well as abilities of the very worthy gentlemen who have just addressed the House. But different men often see the same subject in different lights, and therefore I hope it will not be thought disrespectful to those gentlemen if, entertaining as I do opinions of a character very opposite to theirs, I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before the House is one of awful moment to this country. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery, and in proportion to the magnitude of the subject ought to be the freedom of the debate. It is only in this way that we can hope to arrive at truth and fulfill the great responsibility which we hold to God and our country. Should I keep back my opinions at such a time, though fear of giving offense, I should consider myself as guilty of treason toward my country, and of an act of disloyalty toward the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. I know of no way of judging of the future but by the past. And judging by the past, I wish to know what there has been in the conduct of the British ministry for the last 10 years to justify those hopes with which gentlemen have been pleased to solace themselves and the House. Is it that insidious smile with which our petition has been lately received? Trust it not, sir. I will prove a snare to your feet. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed with a kiss. Ask yourselves how this gracious reception of our petition comports with those warlike preparations which cover our waters and darken our land. Are fleets and armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? Have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. These are the implements of war and subjugation, the last arguments to which kings resort. I ask gentlemen, sir, what means this martial array? If its purpose be not to force us to submission, can gentlemen assign any other possible motive for it? Has Great Britain any enemy in this quarter of the world to call for all this accumulation of navies and armies? No, sir, she has none. They are meant for us. They can be meant for no other. They are sent over to bind and rivet upon us those chains which the British ministry have been so long forging. And what have we to oppose to them? Shall we try argument? Sir, we have been trying that for the last 10 years. Have we anything new to offer upon the subject? Nothing. We have held the subject up in every light of which it is capable, but it has all been in vain. They tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary, but when shall we be stronger? Will it be the next week, or the next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed, and when a British guard shall be stationed in every house? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying supinely on our backs and hugging the delusive phantom of hope until our enemies shall have bound us hand and foot? Oh, okay, this one's kind of heavy, guys. Sorry, shouldn't have moved it up. All right, taking a look at number... Oh, I wasn't done yet. Okay, paragraph 6, let me start here. Sir, we are not weak if we make proper use of those means which the God of nature has placed in our power. 3 millions of people armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a country as that which we possess, are invincible by any force which our enemy can send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. There is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations, and who will raise up friends to fight our battle for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, sir, we have no election. If we were base enough to desire it, it is now too late to retire from the contest. There is no retreat but in submission and slavery. Our chains are forged. Their clanking may be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable, and let it come. I repeat, sir, let it come. It is in vain, sir, to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war is actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is that? What is it that gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take. But as for me, give me liberty or give me death. Whew, I feel like I'm in a history class again. All right, taking a look at question 15. First question has 2 parts. First, answer part A, then answer part B. Part A, what was Henry's purpose for giving the speech? Sorry, let me make notes, make sure I'm on the right track. Okay, so taking a look at this. A was to declare his right to free speech against the British. No, if anything, it was almost like a soft entry that he did. He was letting everybody know he wasn't trying to step on any toes, but he knew he had something that needed to be said. So nope. B, to explain the pros and cons of fighting for freedom from British control. Nope. Answer C, to entertain convention members with stories about his experiences with the British. Oh, heck no. There were no stories. Okay. D, to persuade convention members to fight for freedom from British control. Okay. Yeah, I would say that this is definitely a persuasive speech. So I'm going to go ahead and select D for part A. Part B, which 2 quotations from the speech best support the answer in part A? All right. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery, and in proportion to the magnitude of the subject ought to be the freedom of the debate. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not convinced. B, I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. Let's see. Nah, not too interested in the experience part. C, they tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. That would be the worst line ever if you want to talk about persuasion. Nah, don't want that. Okay, D, 3 millions of people armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a country as that which we possess, are invincible by any force which our enemy can send against us. Oh, yes. Okay, so D for sure. Yes, because that actually falls under the guise of persuasion. Okay, and then E, gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. Okay, taking a look at A and E. Guys, I'm going to have to go with E, because here you can tell he's revving them up, reminding them, you think we're okay, but we're really not. You need to open your eyes. So for part A, correct answer is D. Part B, correct answers are D and E. All right, moving on to 16 and 17. In paragraph 2 of the speech, Henry claims it is important for people to debate their positions and express their thoughts openly. What reason does he give for this claim? Okay, we have, it is the colonists' moral and civic responsibility to discover what is best for the country. I think that one sounds pretty nice. I'm going to put a star there. The British hope their military presence will limit the colonists' freedom of speech. Let me read it again. Paragraph 2 of the speech, he claims it's important for people to debate their positions and express their thoughts openly. Okay, yeah, no, let's get rid of that one. Doesn't go in line with what we're looking for. C, the gentlemen of the convention have a tendency to fight amongst themselves. Okay, yes, we knew that to be true. No. Yes, we know it to be true. No, it's not helping us when we try to find the answer here. D, the truth cannot be determined until all opinions are stated and examined. Ooh, yeah, no, I don't like that one either. So guys, correct answer for number 16 is going to be A. It is the colonists' moral and civic responsibility to discover what is best for the country. The reason behind that, the country is theirs. They can either run it into the ground or cause it to thrive. Everybody wants to thrive. That's why they need to focus on their moral and civic responsibilities here. Okay, number 17. Read the sentence from paragraph 2 of the speech. The question before the House is one of awful moment to this country. What is the meaning of moment as it is used in this sentence? This is another question about connotative meaning, the meaning in casual conversation. So, number 17. I know we're not talking about a short period of time. No, get rid of that one. The question before the House is one of awful moment to this country. Nah, short period of time doesn't work. A particular period of importance, maybe a specific point in time. Okay, I would say get rid of D. And our answer choices are between B and C. Okay, so let's look at the phrase awful. That's an adjective describing the moment itself. So we know we can eliminate C because if something is awful, you don't necessarily call it outstanding. So the correct answer for number 17 is B, a specific point in time, something that we want to bring attention to. All right. Okay, guys, and number 18. Go ahead and draw that out on your paper. Correct answer for number 18 is B. So I plan to have this recording up probably until midnight on Tuesday. I might space and totally forget to delete it until the morning, but just know that by the time you come into class, you will not be using this information. You can only use the notes that you took, and you will be giving me your notes when you are done. So you have the whole week to do the test. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Just a reminder, 35 questions, 2 written responses, and I gave you 1, and it covers 5 selections. We just went over 17 questions, and I just realized this information is wrong. I gave you 1 freebie, and that's actually number 18. So let me fix that. 17 listed, number 18 is a freebie, and I gave you the 1 written response. With my written response, copy it exactly. But if you want to go rogue and write your own response, I'm going to welcome it. Just make sure you give me your textual evidence. As always, love Miss A, and I want you guys to do the best you possibly can.